Gosh, it's always great to get on camera right after a barbershop visit, get a haircut and a nice shave. Always looking great when I do that. I should get on and visit the barbershop more frequently, I think. But today I'm talking about brand spanking new fragrances. New launches coming soon. Find out what they are coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. I'm talking about brand spanking new fragrances. Which fragrances are you excited about? Let me know. Put a comment down below. I've got a bunch of fragrances here and also some bonus options from one house I've never spoken about on the channel. I might have actually mentioned them in a video like this of an upcoming release, but never really spoke about the brand overall. You can skip ahead if you want to find out about that brand, but let's get started with the list. But I am doing another mention of my collab fragrance with JUSBOX today. And I'm going to give you some details on that fragrance, as much as I can reveal. But the full reveal will happen on the 18th when Harrods starts selling the fragrance in store and online, hopefully. A little details on the notes breakdown here. I want to give you a clue on the name of the fragrance. So the notes features patchouli, of course, as what I've been mentioning overall, plus vanilla resin absolute, rum, pina colada, cinnamon bark, tobacco, sandalwood, chocolate accord, Davana, saffron, cardamom, Nagarmotha. As I said, I was asked by JUSBOX to collaborate with them on this fragrance. They asked me for my brief and my idea. And keep in mind, JUSBOX is a music-themed brand, so I was trying to find something very unique to do as a fragrance for them, something that they had not done before. And the fragrances that JUSBOX has done are all inspired by bands, genres, singers, instruments, you name it. But this particular theme I chose has not done before. And so I'm excited for it to launch, and I'm going to let you know all about it on the 18th. So this fragrance, as I said, is created by Julian Rasconnais, and here's the clue. It's a numbered name, guys. That's it. It's a numbered name. So stay tuned for the announcement, and if you haven't, signed up yet, there is some space left at Harrods from 3 to 4 p.m. on 29th of August. And I'll be there with Julian Rasconnais and the founders of JUSBOX. So stay tuned for the announcement of that fragrance. Very soon I'll have a bottle to show you and all that good stuff. But let me know if you're excited for this one. Let's move on to the next one. So the next fragrance I'm talking about is Maison Francis Kurkdjian's APOM, the 2024 launch. Basically, I have more details on it. Now, when I did my video, I had a sample and I snuck in a photo of some of the details. I was told not to share the photo. The photo that I took a photo of did give me some details on the notes breakdown, but not everything. So it turns out there are other notes in this fragrance that I hadn't mentioned. Most importantly, ylang ylang comes up in this fragrance, which I can kind of see. It did have a bit of a solar effect happening. And if you don't know, Aqua Vitae Forte from Maison Francis Kurkdjian also uses ylang ylang, giving you that kind of a beachy solar effect, which this one has, but it's actually a bit more animalistic and musky, the way I like it. If you want to find out more info on this fragrance, go catch my video on it, first impressions. But this is launching on the 12th, very soon. And again, it's created by Francis Kurkdjian. The next fragrance I'm talking about is Matiere Premier's Falcon Leather Extrait. Now, this fragrance was recently featured in a most hated fragrances video that I've done. People did not care for this fragrance. Well, wait until you smell the extract, I guess. This is going to be a lot more concentrated if you don't like the original in eau de parfum concentration. I wonder what you're going to think of the extrait de parfum. Extrait de parfum generally tends to go stronger, so this fragrance features notes of saffron, benzoin, cistus labdanum, and birch tar. Birch tar giving you that smoky edge, smoky woody edge. We'll see how it is. I'm quite curious to get my nose on this, and this is a fragrance created by Aurelien Guichard. Now, this next fragrance is not a human fragrance. It's not for people. It's for dogs. Really? Dolce & Gabbana has a new fragrance called FEFE, and it's a alcohol-free fragrance for your dog. So it's created by Emilie Bevierre-Coppermann, and it features notes of ylang ylang, musk, and sandalwood. Boy, I feel like ylang ylang has a kind of a trending note lately, don't you think? I've seen it pop up quite a bit. I recently did a video on ylang ylang. Go catch that video if you missed it. I'm kind of obsessed with this note lately. I really do enjoy it. But what do you guys think of a fragrance for dogs? Is this something you would put on your dogs? I know dogs have a strange smell. I don't like the way dogs smell. Anyway, maybe they need perfume. But again, it's alcohol free, so no alcohol. And what do you guys think about this particular theme of fragrances without any alcohol? It's been going on for years. In fact, there's a brand in France, drawing a blank, a lot of their fragrances are actually most of them, if not all, are alcohol free. And they do have a bit of a milky consistency. And so, I don't know, what do you guys think? And speaking of the alcohol free trend, there's a new XERJOFF fragrance called NEWCLEUS, which is also alcohol free. No alcohol. Now, a lot of you know when you put alcohol fragrances on your hair, ladies do get to damage their hair, especially since they keep their hair long. I put regular fragrances on my hair, but my hair grows so fast, it doesn't really damage because I get a cut quite frequently. But XERJOFF's NEWCLEUS is alcohol-free, featuring notes of sandalwood, caramel, milk, green notes, white musk, vanilla, rose petals. Sounds quite nice, and caramel, they keep coming up quite a bit in fragrances as well. I'd like to try it. The only negative about alcohol-free fragrances is they don't last. Is this true? Is this your experience? Do let me know. Put a comment down below. Let's move on to the next fragrance from the house of Les Eaux Primordiales. It's Ambre Supermassive. Remember last year they launched a fragrance called Vanille Supermassive. This year their extrait de parfum is Ambre Supermassive. And it's a redo of their amber that's very, very popular in an extract form. So this is Amélie Bourgeois and Arnaud Poilon, the perfumers, featuring notes of cinnamon, apples, rum, vanilla, amber, honey, tobacco, saffron, musk, sesame seeds, pineapple, and heliotrope. I've got my nose on it. It's definitely, I prefer this over the original Ambre fragrance from the house. But in comparison to the Vanille, it's not as good for me as the Vanille Supermassive is. Vanille Supermassive was amazing. It was supermassive. And it was also featured in a recent Scent Club kit. This one, I like it. I like it more than the original Ambre they have in their collection. But again, the Vanille Supermassive is much better for me. But Kerosene's Found in Light is a new fragrance created by John Pegg. And once again, caramel, honey, musk, and vanilla. These are the notes. He just launched another fragrance, Promises, Promises. So he's got another one. Seems like they're going into a gourmand direction. I got to sample Promises, Promises. For me, it was not as vanillic as I thought it was going to be. It was more of an amber. Not to say that it was bad, but I was expecting more vanilla, and it turned out to be an amber fragrance. Well, hopefully I'll be reporting on that very soon. But if you've gotten your nose on Promises, Promises, or even Found in Light, let me know. Put a comment down below. So Roja Parfum's Oud Extraordinaire is launching, created by Roja Dove. This is Cotton Candy, is a note. But you know what? It reminds me of, what's the fragrance that got discontinued? Kingdom of... the notes breakdown is reminding me of that fragrance, and it was one of my all-time favorites from Roja. Thankfully, there's been a alternative over at Athena Fragrances that I've recommended. But this notes breakdown is kind of reminding me of that fragrance. It's cotton candy with pineapple, orange blossom, mango, pear, lily of the valley, cashmeran, musk, cyclamen, grapefruit, peach plum, bergamot. The notes breakdown is somewhat similar, not identical, so maybe it's completely different. But I do recall the other fragrance that was discontinued, the Kingdom of... I think it was Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Could be a different kingdom. Bahrain? I don't know. But cotton candy was a prominent note in that, so we'll have to get my nose on this to see how it is. But this one sounds really fun. But moving on to the house of Byredo, we have Mojave Ghost Absolute. Seems like they are going into the concentrated forms direction at Byredo as well. They already have those Night Veils collection, which are extrait de parfum in the 50 ml bottles. So this seems like it's going to be 100 ml. I'm not 100% sure. But Mojave Ghost, I have to circle back to the original to see what it's all about. Not one of my wow fragrances, but I'm curious to get my nose on the Absolute as well. And the notes breakdown is sapodilla, violets, sandalwood, ambergris, cedarwood, ambrette. Violets, it's a trademark for Byredo and also Jérôme Epinay, which creates a lot of, if not all of the fragrances for Byredo. And again, the fragrances after the outro that I'm going to talk to you about, a brand I don't speak about, are all created by Jérôme Epinay as well. So curious to get my nose on this, the Mojave Ghost Absolute. What are your thoughts on the original? Put a comment down so I can find out. Moving on to the house of Maison Margiela, it's Afternoon Delight, a fragrance created by Carlos Benayem. He's done like 2 fragrances now recently for Maison Margiela, and this one sounds like a gourmand delight. Afternoon Delight, gourmand. It's cookie note, vanilla, whipped cream, sandalwood, and musk. Sounds delicious. So they discontinued Whispers in the Library. I don't know why. I guess wasn't selling. That was their vanilla fragrance. This sounds more like a vanilla, creamy, milky, gourmand fragrance. If you've gotten your nose on it, do let me know. I did notice on Sephora it said it was coming soon, so we'll see when it lands. Now, this next fragrance I reported on recently, but there's more information out there about it now. It's Issey Miyake's Le Sel de Issey, a male-targeted release fragrance. I'm excited about this one, but also a bit cautious because it does feature a lot of marine notes. I generally like salty notes in fragrances. For example, Porthole is a favorite of mine, but it was fruits like pineapple and caramel against salt, not necessarily uber marine. But this one has seaweed, so a bit cautious. But it is created by Quinton Biche with salt, seaweed, oak moss, ginger, cedarwood, and vetiver. If anyone's gotten their nose on it, let me know. Put a comment down below. But I'm excited for this, even though I'm a bit cautious with that seaweed note. But honestly, this next fragrance I'm really, really excited about. Unfortunately, it's one of their more expensive fragrances. It's a city exclusive for Le Labo. A city exclusive for the city of Mexico City. It's Coriander 39. Now, coriander is a note that I really love, and I feel like it's a bit more of a classic note. I hadn't seen it for a long time, but I do see it coming up in fragrances more often or more frequently lately. But for a while, it was in a lot of men's fragrances. So this fragrance does sound great. To me, I wonder if it's the coriander seeds or if it's the leafy herb part, the cilantro itself. Cilantro is a bit more challenging, even as a food to eat. I've gotten used to it, but it was one that I despised the smell of. But it says cilantro as a note, but I'm just thinking it's called coriander. It's the same plant. And for me, the smell of the coriander seeds are so amazing. But the actual plant itself is kind of odd. So I'm curious to get my nose on this. Sounds exciting. It's coriander or cilantro with lime, aldehydes, watery notes, green notes, flowers, and musk. Also, aldehydes is appearing quite frequently recently as well. But if anybody's gotten their nose on Coriander 39, let us know. Put a comment down below. And this next fragrance also I've reported on, and I got to smell it. I'm not 100% sure about it. This is Tom Ford's Black Lacquer, featuring notes of ink, vinyl, ebony wood, peony, apricots, elemi resin, rum, black pepper, and olibanum. So to me, the fragrance did remind me a little bit of the series of fragrances like Bois Marocain, Ebene Fumé, even Mur Mystère. So it's in that kind of dark, woody, smoky kind of a direction. But obviously this one has ink, it has vinyl, it also has ebony wood, which has appeared in a few fragrances. I want to explore the fragrance further from the actual bottle itself. I ended up with a sample somewhere and I got to get a sniff of it. Not much in the way of really, digging into the fragrance, but just getting a quick whiff. If you've sampled it, let me know. It does launch very soon, so I'll be able to report on it hopefully sooner than later. But moving on to the House of Chanel, finally, there's an announcement, although it's been, speculated before, but now there's a legit announcement for this. It's Allure Homme Sport Super Legera. Great name, right? It's white musk, citruses, mandarin, grapefruit, woods, cedar, patchouli, sandalwood, and amber. So is it actually a flanker of the previous Allure Homme Sport fragrances? I don't really know, but we'll see. We'll have to get our nose on it, how it is, how it wears, what it smells like, and all that good stuff. But if you've sampled it, and you know about it, let us know what it is as well. Put a comment down below. So a duo of fragrances is launching for the brand Superdry. Are you guys familiar with this clothing line? Superdry is launching 2 fragrances, one for men, one for women. It's a masculine fragrance 01, feminine fragrance 01. Both of the fragrances are created by Nathalie Lorson, and then there's a co-creator for the male version, I believe, and I forgot the name of the perfumer. But Ambrox, Salty Accord, Italian Bergamot, Lemons, Hinoki Wood, Cypress, Cedarwood, Haitian Vetiver, and Patchouli for the male fragrance. And then the feminine fragrance is White Peony, White Musks, Ambrox, Salty Accord, Violet Wood, Magnolia, Pear, Cedarwood, Sandalwood. Both of them, I don't know, we'll see how they are. I'm not really 100% sure these are going to be all that great, but I'm always curious to get my nose on fragrances. And both of them feature salt. Salty notes are kind of trendy, especially with that Issey Miyake. So if you've gotten your nose on these fragrances, do report back. Put a comment down below so we can find out. And then Ex Nihilo has another fragrance to crank out the fragrances constantly. This fragrance is called Whiplash. Love the name. Ginger, orange, ambrette, pepper, bergamot, mandarin, rose, cardamom, akigala wood, and patchouli. So Ex Nihilo perfumes are created by Givaudan perfumers. So when you see akigala wood, you know it's a Givaudan perfumer. Are you a fan of Ex Nihilo? Let us know. Put a comment down below. There's a store in LA, by the way. If you're in the LA area, you can go visit their store. I've never been. Curious. I always go to the one on the Rue Saint-Honoré in Paris. I've been going there since 2015. And finally, the last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about, I wanted to report on this because apparently this was supposedly one of the best flankers of any fragrance to a fragrance that I completely despise. It's Paco Rabanne's Invictus, the original, which I can't stand. And Aqua was a flanker that launched after that, and I kind of missed and didn't get my nose on it. So they're bringing it back, a 2024 version of Aqua from Paco Rabanne's Invictus collection. And I want to get my nose on and see if I missed out on anything. If you're familiar with the original Aqua versus the 2024 Aqua that's coming or should have landed, let us know. Put a comment down below. But it features notes of sea notes, grapefruit, and amber wood. I've read and heard that this is identical to the original Aqua, Invictus Aqua. So hopefully it is. And I'll see what I missed out on, and maybe I didn't miss out on it because it's launched again. And that's it, guys. That's the last fragrance I'm talking about. Let me know which fragrance you're most excited about. Put a comment down below. And again, if you're in London for the launch of my JUSBOX fragrance collaboration on the 29th from 3 to 4 p.m., hopefully I'll see you there along with Julien Rascanet, who'll be on as well with me. He's the perfumer, and then of course the two owners of JUSBOX. But if there's any other fragrances that you're excited about, let us know. Put a comment down below. And thanks so much for watching today. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. All right, I've never spoken about Anna Sui fragrances. Are you guys familiar with this designer house from New York City? They are fragrances under Interparfums. So I don't see their fragrances anywhere. Most likely they're just sold online because I don't even see the fashion line anywhere as well. I didn't even realize she was still doing clothing until recently when I discovered a fragrance online of hers that she had launched like a year or so ago. So it's a wild wonder collection of fragrances. There's 5 of them. And so all of the fragrances are created by Jérôme Epinay. And I'm a big fan of Jérôme Epinay's fragrances. Are you? Actually, recently I had a sniff session client in here who was a big fan of the fragrances of Jérôme Epinay. She was very sensitive to notes like ambroxan, but she enjoyed the creations of Jérôme Epinay and enjoyed Wilhelm Parfumerie fragrances and, of course, Byredo, which Jérôme Epinay does the fragrances for. And it seems like this is not the only fragrances that I've seen his name come up for Anna Sui. I believe there are other fragrances that he's created recently for Anna Sui, and his name was on them as well. So hopefully I can get my nose on these, but this is, again, a collection called Wild Wonder Collection, all created by Jérôme Epinay. Starting with the first one, it's called Dew Fields. Dew, D-E-W. And this fragrance features blackcurrant, green tea, lemons, cyclamen, pink musk, sandalwood, peony, and rose essential. All of the fragrances are targeted to women, by the way, but we'll have to decide once we get our nose on them or our noses on them. But according to the notes, they do seem like they are veering towards the feminine side. So it makes sense that they're targeted to the ladies. But, I'd be the judge myself if I want to wear something that I like the smell of or don't enjoy the smell of. But first one is Dew Fields. The second fragrance is Electric Whisper, and this one seems like a fruity fragrance. And of course, fruity fragrances are very popular lately, very popular. If you haven't caught my recent fruity fragrances videos, please do. I've even got a peachy fragrances video. So peach is also pretty popular out there. And of course, there's 20 peach fragrances. Go catch that video. But Electric Whisper has notes of guava, lychee fruit, magnolia, rose, amber, patchouli, sugar, vetiver, bergamot, blackcurrant, pink pepper. This does sound quite fun. Sounds tropical and fruity, a bit ambery, and of course spicy. I'm curious to get my nose on it. And of course, there's patchouli in it, and I always like patchouli and what it does to fragrances. Really does do magic things to fragrances. I absolutely love this note, and the addition of it, grounds the fragrance. It makes, gives it a backbone. It's the support, the anchor, and of course, it always smells great. And I love the combo of earthy patchouli with the fruits in a fragrance. But this maybe is like a fruity chypre style. Who knows? There's also rose here. So I can't wait to get my nose on Electric Whisper. And I hope I do, because I don't ever see these fragrances anywhere from Anna Sui, and I'm going to have to order them if I want to get my nose on them. But if you are familiar with Anna Sui fragrances, do let us know. Put a comment down below if you have a resource or a place to get the fragrances, because I did discover that the fragrances are sold directly on the Anna Sui website. But again, I don't see them anywhere. Maybe they have them at discounters. I need to look at the discounters. But the next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is Mystic Luna. So this is grass, rose, jasmine, amber, ambroxan, bergamot, juniper berries. This sounds like your typical fresh floral fragrance with other flowers and of course ambery, kind of woody dry down. But it does have that bergamot for a very fresh citrusy touch up top. And then the aromatic touch of the juniper berries. It sounds a bit more sharp and metallic with the fact that it has that juniper berries note, very aromatic and spicy. And of course, ambroxan in the base and the amber in the base to give you the extension of the fragrance, it prolongs the life of the fragrance. But some people don't like ambroxan and some people do. I don't know. Do you find ambroxan to be sharp and synthetic and metallic? Or do you enjoy it in fragrances like Baccarat Rouge or, Thomas Cosmola's Après l'Amour No. 4, even like Superdose, Not a Perfume Superdose. Let me know if you're a fan of it. Again, I didn't really enjoy bergamot. I do love bergamot. I didn't really enjoy ambroxan a lot, but I do love ambroxan more. I think it's just, you get used to it. And so if you're not used to certain things, you don't really tend to like those kind of things. And the next fragrance is Thorn of a Rose. I feel like there's two rose fragrances back to back. Thorn of a Rose features notes of damask rose, violets, citrusy notes, frankincense, patchouli, pink pepper. This to me sounds a bit makeup-like. When you combine the notes of rose and violets, they do end up smelling a bit like makeup or lipstick. So only my nose will tell if that's the case. I like the sound of it, but I don't know what it's going to smell like. The addition of patchouli in the base always sounds great to give you that added earthiness, kind of woody, earthy, kind of sparkling edge to any fragrances. I love this note. Did I already say that? The only thing that's kind of giving me curiosity is the frankincense and the fact that there's pink pepper as well. In frankincense, pink pepper, they kind of trick my nose. So they always end up putting them together to complement one another. And the last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is Utopia Mist. Utopia Mist is from the house of Anna Sui, this new collection that they're launching. And it features notes of Florentine iris, raspberry blossom, violets, cashmere wood, sugar, tonka beans, pink pepper, and grapefruit. Now, we saw violets come up twice in fragrances, maybe more than twice, but I believe I saw it in two different fragrances. And as I was mentioning earlier, Jérôme Epinay does like to use a lot of violets. They're appearing in a lot of Byredo fragrances. And I feel like violet is basically the DNA of Byredo fragrances. It's kind of a trademark because I see it come up quite a bit in Byredo fragrances, and it's come up here as well in Utopia Mist. And also this fragrance does sound a bit like makeup as well. Very powdery, and of course lots of flowers, and then the whole violet thing is here as well. Sounds very, very interesting. So those are the 5 different fragrances from Anna Sui, this new collection launching if it hasn't launched already. If you have any resources of where to buy these fragrances, let us know. I got to look up some discounters, but I don't really find them selling anywhere. Like Macy's doesn't stock these fragrances. And as I was saying earlier, I didn't even realize Anna Sui was around anymore. I remember hearing about her in the 90s, probably in the early 90s when her fashion house was kind of new. And, I'd hear her name come up with various, clothing trends and things like that, fashion trends. But 5 new fragrances. If you are a fan of her fragrances from the past, and you wear them, let us know. Put a comment down below. I'd like to explore and see, do they even have, or does she even have men's fragrances? I haven't seen anything, but I'll do a bit more research soon. But if any of these sound exciting to you, let us know. Let me know. Put a comment down below so I can find out. But other than that, guys, thanks so much for tuning in today and watching both the original section of the video and also this second section of the Anna Sui fragrances. I appreciate you tuning in as usual. And stay tuned for more videos very, very soon. If you have any requests for videos or anything you want me to cover also, please add a comment down below so I can find out and, prep to do before I leave to Europe for a month and a half. Anyway, see you later. Bye.